Hello everyone and welcome to this video. So in this video I'm going to go over 10 main cleaning tasks that you should do before analyzing your data. So these are the tasks. So let's dive right into it. Starting with removing duplicates. As we can see from this data, we can see that this record and this are the same thing. So it's most likely a manual error or a data entry error. So we just select all, go to the data tab, remove duplicates, and here we have the duplicates removed already. Then to the next cleaning task, that's parsing data using text to column. So here is what we are going to work with. As you can see, this is like a combination of two different columns. That's the first name and the last name. And we have to separate this text into columns. So that's what this particular task means. We are separating the text into individual columns. So we'll just right click on this, insert one column, select data. Okay, no, yeah, data, then split text to column. Yeah, these are different delimiters, but what separates our own columns is the underscore, which is not here. So we are just going to uncheck this and select custom, and then enter the custom value, which is the underscore. From the preview, you can see that they've been separated already. So we are just going to click apply. And there we have it. The next thing we are going to work on is proper casing. We are going to ensure uniformity among all the cases. So when working with cases, we have three main functions. We have the upper, the lower, and the proper. The upper is if you want to convert all text to uppercase, that's capital letters, lowercase for lower cases, that's small letters. But for proper, the first character is going to be in capital letter while the rest will be in small letters. As you can see, convert a text string to proper case, the first letter in each word to uppercase and all other letters to lowercase. So we are just going to work with that. Okay, here that's let's work with this as well. Equals to proper. And let's do for the status as well. Let me just shift this. Equals to proper. And there we have it. Okay, so let's just copy this and just paste as values. Paste values only. And let's delete this. Let's do the same for the last name. Control C, right click, paste special, paste values only. Then let's delete this column. Just paste as values. And yes, so here we have it. And the next task is going to be removing excess spaces. If we look at this, okay, let's just rename this to give it more context. Let's use first name and let's use last name. So here we can see that they are leading white spaces, they are leading characters in front of some of the values, some of the text. We are just going to use the trim function to ensure accuracy in that area. Trim. Okay, so let's just see what trim does. So yeah, it removes all spaces from a text string except for single spaces within words. So here we can see that the leading space has been removed. Let's now copy this and paste. So let's just delete this. For the last name, it doesn't appear that they are leading characters, but let's just work on it to be on a safer side. Trim. Okay, sorry about that. Trim. Okay, yeah, so let's copy and paste as values. We can delete this. Equals to trim. Yeah, so we have this. Okay, let me just show you about pasting directly rather than pasting as values. So if I delete this column, like okay, maybe I'm working and then I'm done with this and I just decide to delete it, I'm also going to lose, yes, you can see, I'm also going to lose the values that I've already, worked on. So let me just do a control Z. Or like when we just control C and then paste as values. When we are pasting as values, we are eliminating the formula. So here we can just delete easily. This is not part of the data set. So let's just continue and rename this to status. Okay, so we've worked on that. Now let's move on to the fifth cleaning task, which is treating blank cells. So I'm currently using the web version of Excel, so I can't use F5. Usually F5 is like a shortcut key to identifying blank cells in your data set. It's easy to identify here because the data set is small, but if you are working with a larger data set, you might need F5, especially if you are using the desktop version of Excel. But for this web version of Excel, I'm just going to go to Home, Conditional Formatting, New Rule, highlight cells with blanks, and done. Okay, yes, so it has been highlighted. So here are our blanks. We have 4 blanks in this data set. Let me just delete it. I don't need it to be highlighted. So there are two different ways to actually deal with blanks. You can either delete the entire record or you replace them with something else. So the tip I use for this is if I still have valuable information in the data set or in that particular record, then I don't delete it, I just replace it with something else. But if there are no valuable information and then I just decide to delete it because it doesn't really have effect on my data set. So here's what I mean. For this fifth record, the only missing data here is the last name. And then it also depends on your goal, on the goal of your analysis. But I already have employee ID, I already have the first name and other details. So me having not having the last name doesn't really affect my analysis. I can still get the count of the employee ID. I can still get their status and every other thing that I need. So the last name doesn't really have any effect. So I'm just going to use find and replace. Yeah, find and replace, which is the next cleaning task. So I'm just going to, for find and replace, there's a shortcut key, Control H. So with Control H, find nothing, replace with NA, match, yes, match case, match entire cell contents. Means that I want to replace it with something that doesn't have anything, like a complete blank. So it doesn't interfere with the previous the previous data. That's, for example, in this case, Mary could be Mary, then another leading character. So here, so that's why I checked these two options. Replace all. Okay, yes, so it has replaced the blanks already. This is not part of the data set, so let me just delete it. So yes. So I said, okay, after after dealing with this, we can now focus on this. In this case, if we look at it, we don't have the employee ID, we don't have the first name, we don't have the status. In this case, all our valuable information are missing. So it's better we just delete it. Delete row. So yeah, that's the tip I use to handle missing data. If there are valuable information, I just replace with something else. But if there are no valuable information, then it's just best to delete it. So the next task is converting value stored as text. Okay, so here we are going to focus on the salary column because that's where we have values as in numbers. So we are just going to insert, we are just going to use value. Value converts a number string into a number. So any number that is stored as a string, it's converted to a number. So let's just see if it's going to change our results. Okay, it actually didn't change it. So that means it saw it as a value. So yeah, we are covered. Let's just paste it. I mean, it doesn't affect anything, but let's just paste it and clear content. Now for the next one, which is handling errors. So errors, it actually has to do with you knowing the content of your analysis, the content of your data set. First of all, you have to understand your headings, your column names. What does employee ID mean? What does first name? What does last name mean? What does salary mean? What does joining dates mean? What does status mean? So understanding this will give you an insight to the cleaning task that you will do. We come to filter. So here is what I do anytime I'm working on a very large data set. So here we can see the kind of data we have. So in this case now, if I was working with a large number of data sets and then I can't really see everything at a glance, I can just use my filter and then just scroll up and down. So I'm sure you might have noticed what the error in this particular column. But here you are right. We have a negative sign in front of this particular salary, 50,500. So in this case, salary shouldn't have like a negative sign, except it means something else that oh you're owing, but really shouldn't have a negative sign, except you want to, ask your team leader or your manager for accurate explanation. But in this case, it doesn't make sense for salary to have a negative sign. So it's probably a manual entry error. So we are just going to correct that. You can just edit it manually or just come here and use the find and replace, control H, find minus, replace with nothing. Let me see. Okay, let's uncheck this. Because if we check, it's just going to look for a particular record that has just minus in it. But here we have minus 50,500. So we have to just replace the minus in that particular cell. And if we check it, let's try it. If we check it, it's not going to replace it. We can't find any matches. So we're just going to uncheck it and then replace all. Matches replaced. So yes, we just have 50,500. Now let's move to the next one, which is date formatting. This is actually an issue that most data professionals face when cleaning data, but we are going to figure it out together. So here in most cases, Excel reads your date format in the regional setting that your current computer is using. So my computer is currently using the United States format, which is month slash DD slash YYY. So which is month, day, year. So it sees 14 as month, 01 as the day, 2021 as the year. And usually for a date to be accurate, it has to be on the right hand side. Like it has to face the same way. You can see the value here for salary. It is leaned towards the right side of the cell. And that's the format in which the date should be as well. But here it's leaning towards the left. So it means Excel is reading this as a text and not a date. So meaning that Excel is reading, because my date format on my system is month, day, year. So it reads this as month, day, year, and obviously we don't have any month number that is 14. So that's why it's giving an error. So let's just see how we can figure this out together. Let's start by changing We'll start by changing the date format to the second one. So right now I'm using United States. I'm just going to change it to United Kingdom because United States uses mm/dd/yy. So I'm just going to change it to dd/mm/yy. File. So we go to File, Options, Regional Format Setting. So it's currently in United States. I'm just going to change it to United Kingdom. Here, change. Let's just see how that goes. Okay, yeah, so we have it. If you remember, oh, I should have copied it. I should have copied the last one. But yeah, if you remember how it was 03/05. So now everything is in dd/mm/yy. So we have everything in the same format. So let's now use the text function just to be sure that it is in the right, that all of them are in the right format. Okay, yes, so we are good to go. Let me just delete this. If you want me to make another video explaining the date formatting in detail, you can just drop a comment in the section. But just to make this particular video concise, I won't really go so much in detail. Now let's copy this, Ctrl C, paste values, and insert, shift cells right. Okay, sorry, insert. Ehen. Now let's use the date value to convert it to a date so that it links to the right side of the sheet. Okay, yes. So we are covered. We are good to go. We have our dates fixed already. Control C. Let's just replace with this. Working with dates can be very tricky. So it's best for you to understand the regional format in which your system is, because that's what Excel is going to read it as. So let's just delete this. Delete FG. Yes. So yeah, we are good to go, and moving to the last stage of our data cleaning, which is spell check. This is quite easy. You're just going to, check for spelling errors, which can be done using F7. Okay, sorry. This is, I forgot I'm using the web version of Excel. Shortcut key cannot work with this. Let's just figure this out together. Let me just see. Okay, so let's just move to review. The review tab, spelling and statistics. Then click on spelling, and here we can see, so employee ID, but we are just going to leave it because that's what we are using. So yeah, but if you are using the desktop version of Excel, you can just use F7. F7 is the shortcut key for spell check. But if you are using the online version, just come to the review tab, spelling and statistics, and then you can just see the suggestions that are in this box. So if you enjoyed this video and you gained a lot, don't forget to like, comment, and share so others can learn as well. Thank you. Bye.